Well, good evening, viewers, wherever you may be watching around the world, around Australia and in South Australia. My name is Tony Neal, and joining me tonight is Simon Shepherd, the Principal of Westminster. First of all, welcome, Simon.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Wonderful to be down at Glenelg under the lights. A real opportunity for the boys.
Stratorama Oval, and it is Sacred Heart College 1 versus Westminster School at Stratorama Oval. Coach, of course, John Simons, and the captain Ned Atkinson of Sacred Heart, and Westminster Tim Weatherald and captain Max Robertson. We are underway in the big game under lights. A thrill for the players down here, and well, there's a bit of hideout there for the Sacred Heart team, and that looks like Brody Bretone's there. Ball just comes around now. Lucas Camporali. So there's some names out here to be watching, and two player a bit slow to get up there, and that's Joseph Raphael on that far side. And Simon, a perfect night for football. No, not a zephyr in the air, and quite dry conditions.
It feels quite nice out here. The ground's quite firm underfoot, but not too hard.
And I had a bit of a chat with Clay Shadforth prior to the game, and also Darby Fitzgerald, who of course came in last week. It was great to see him. He's come back since the first round. He's been out with injury, and young Clay, well, he's an excitement machine. I love watching any game that Clay's involved in, and well, we'll see how they go tonight.
Yeah, terrific degree of modesty and humility from both those boys. I drove them down in the bus today, and it was wonderful to see them getting worked up for the game and remember to say thank you as they got off.
So this is Tom Simpson wandering in for Sacred Heart. Gee, he runs around a little bit. Plenty of penetration on the kick, just offside there, and through for 1 point. So the bus ride not very far from Westminster, so the boys didn't play up. Was there any singing of songs? You don't need anyone for karaoke on the way home, do you?
No, they were focusing, getting ready for the game.
Ah, very good. That would be a thrill, just driving the lads off, and it's an outstanding. We talk about volunteers in sport, and just something like that. We need a bus driver, and it's the school principal to bring the team down. I'd suggest they were well behaved. There's a nice kick coming in there too.
I think Tim Alva's making his presence felt after a week off.
Number 4, yeah. Of course, winner of the best on ground earlier in the year. Got the pair of thongs, Tim Alva, so outstanding young man. And missed last week, and they're quite tight on him. He's on player really tight on him at the moment, so he'll be handy. And you've got a number 44 out there that we haven't got on the...
That's Dicko.
Is that Mitch Dickinson, is it?
Yes, that is, yep.
So we do try and check before the game, and sometimes these things happen. That's fine. As that ball, second ball up, so a couple of quick ball ups. Oh, gee, you can hear that collision from up here, and just watch Clay Shadforth on the outside of this number 1 there. They'd be watching him fairly. If they've done their homework, Sacred Heart, they would be certainly watching as that ball goes up. Tap down there, Harper Ryan. Out it comes. Kept the hands free. Round the corner now, Sacred Heart on the wing. Good battle, 1-on-1. Taking it quickly there. Eddie Penderman couldn't get away with it.
Cam.
And they're putting it a little bit together here. Yeah, Cam Coleman back in this week. Was it Cam? No, he was in. There's 3 or 4 changes this week. Players fly up. Ethan Steckel, we spoke about Ethan. Good up forward last week. Good target, but at this point, Sacred Heart, that's a long kick over the top. So well done by Will Harvey. Reached up. Great one-on-one battle here. Just mopping up there, the Sacred Heart player. And is he going to be tackled as he kicks? Just offline, and good pressure because our sponsors today, Archie Songs, Best on Ground, Filming Footy Stats, our goal of the day, our Dartfish mark of the day, Sports Interactive, and because our scoreboard sponsor is Sportal. As this long kick out, gee, big high pack up contest, Brody Bretones. Inside, player standing still there. Took the ball, and Sacred Heart players running in. And, well, 3 points on the board early. Westminster a couple of times have been able to kick that ball. They've gotten down to the wing, 2 or 3 chains, and then it breaks down. Just a quick question without notice. Is it the red or pink socks? Is that for the breast cancer?
It is, yeah. It looks like Sacred Heart and Westminster are wearing the pink socks in a week where most of the schools get around
great initiative.
Cancer charity issues.
Yep.
So we'll have our cut for the cancer later in the week, and the kids have got together and already raised nearly $20,000.
Is that right? That is outstanding.
And I'm sure Sacred Heart will be doing a similar thing. But at the moment, Westminster having problems getting past the half-forward line.
Just looking back here, that player, seeing if anyone was gliding by, and there's 25 metres. Just a lot of them got the long hairstyles these days. It may be one of the Camporalis. We'll just see when they turn around.
A bit of atmosphere coming in. Looks like there's a sea mist slowly creeping in over the ground.
Well, down here at the bay, yeah, you're correct too. You can see it in the lights, can't you? At least they're working now. A little bit of trouble in the earlier game as that kick comes in. And he too offline. So peppering that right-hand side as we speak. And this is Darby Fitzgerald. Ball in hand. Comes outside, just drops that ball down. So he's got a couple of options, a little bit of indecision, pops it up high, gives the opposition a chance. Couldn't get through.
Follows up with a strong tackle.
Yeah, Lucas Camporale it was, couldn't get through. And there's a nice goal there. Just trying to see who scored that. Could have been Lucas Camporale by the looks of it. Number 30. We'll put it down to Lucas anyway. And, well, they're underway down here at Glenelg. Great that the Sample or Glenelg actually allow the games to be played down there. This will be a huge thrill for a lot of the lads to come down and play on Sample ground in very good nick. I'm not really sure it's as good as Westminster's. Going by last week, that looked like carpet down there, but nevertheless, it's okay down here. We'll put up with it as that ball goes up. Good size, Mitch Dickinson, and gives them a bit of a start here out of the middle. Gee, player tracking that really well. Goes around the corner. Big lead goes up. Steckel got the hands to it there, Simon, and just couldn't quite finish it off. But a very good start out of the middle there by Westminster. And they've set up the spares back here. They've got, looks like Max Robertson, who played a great game last week. Really dour defender as the spare.
Spare man back, hanging back for the rebound.
And the reason that's happened, Dickinson's gone back and they've picked him up, so he is the spare as that ball punched forward again now. Anyone's ball, a lot of both colours teams there. Player tripped over, well done. That's Alva there hunting the ball. Geez, he's dynamite, isn't he, Tim Alva? Going in again, there he is, gets his hands on the ball. And he's just a tiger, a real hunter for that ball.
He's got great strength over the ball, and there's no surprise to see when there's a breakdown that he's one of the last people up off the ground.
So that ball goes up.
They both
tap. Yeah, there he is. Gets it inside 50.
And now the Stokel comes out, takes a good attempt at the ball, but it looks like it's gone over the boundary line.
Tell you what he's doing. He's competing very well, Simon. Yeah. And he's a presence up forward, and that's going to be a little bit of a stick in the mud for Sacred Heart. Trying to match him up as that left-handed squat came from Harrison Ram there. Gee, inside out there, the Sacred Heart player gets it across to Jack Lees. Caught behind the Sacred Heart player, so Westminster in front, player couldn't take it.
Cam Coleman showing his pace again, but he's brought down.
Is that the, there's a couple of Year 8s playing in there? Sorry, Year 10s?
Year 10 players, yes, yep, there are. Joey Otto Crossing.
That's right, yeah, that's right.
It's not quite his full name, but for speed of pronunciation, a few syllables have been dropped.
All right, so this is the captain, Ned Atkinson, this way, that way. Drops it onto the boot. Gee, it's held a long time in the air. It's given the opposition a chance. That was Ben Camporale, number 48. Couldn't. Gee, ducking the chutney there, Jack Walters. You can't do that. And very well adjudicated by the umpire, because once you duck, Simon, you're open to tackle, and if it happens to be high and you've ducked into it, it's your own fault, so to speak. So well umpired there. Big pack forms.
There is Joey on the ball now.
And I'll tell you what, he's one to watch. We saw him last week. I was fortunate enough to call the Westminster game and played an absolute outstanding game, that young man. Look at him pointing there, good leadership. Watching there, he's on Harper Ryan. That ball comes over the top. 1-2, Camporale taken. Drops it down. They go forward here to Sacred Heart. They go back and just wait for that player to turn around.
So for the viewers at home, there are two Alva boys out there, Jack and Tim. They are identical twins. So you will see them both out there, and it can lead to a bit of confusion. They're both great ball getters, both strong over the ball, and at that time they weren't quite good enough to hold Sacred Heart back.
And I think that was Luke Candy, was it, over the top? So our cameraman with some local knowledge in Year 12 at Sacred Heart, doing a wonderful job, young Harry Lambert, our second game for today, and wouldn't have it any other way, Harry, would we? And mate, your knowledge, you're going to be half cameraman, half commentator tonight because you got knowledge of the players. There he is again. So it's a good reach by Dickinson. I like what he's doing in there. It's just up to the rest of the players now to try and get that clearance. We have got the 6-6-6 and the stand rule, so it does leave it open, but you can see now the wings from the far side have come in. Camperale over the top now. Penetrating kick inside. Great kick there by Sacred Heart. Very hard to stop.
Classic running footy there, wasn't there? Good hands, good delivery, and a good mark.
Harry Franz.
30 metres out from goal.
It's going back a long way too, Simon. So Harry Franz here. Lining up, he'll be on the half-forward line, probably 45 out when he kicks it on a slight angle. That mist, of course, coming across, but I think he can see the big posts. So young Harry wanders in. I like the run-up, but not so much the kick, just out to the side. Player being held there, surely. Umpire has let that go. Dickinson, it is tracking that. A bit of an athlete, Dickinson. He can cover a lot of ground there, Simon.
He certainly does at footy. He covers quite a bit of ground. It looked like he leant back a bit on that kick, didn't he?
Yeah, just poked at it and not really penetrated through it. There's that ball coming around now. And another ball up. Dangerous position here for Sacred Heart. They both tapped the one way. That looks like Alva with the blonde hair. There's a lot of them, but
Tim Alva.
That would not
up by his
surprise
brother
me.
Jack Alva.
Well, runs in the family. That would not surprise me. One bit Dickinson. It goes inside. Round it comes. Sacred Heart player Atkinson, it was free. Playing in front and well done.
And that's Jack Alva taking a mark on defensive, passing out to Max Robertson. It's gone over his head. Let's hope we can keep it in. Max works hard, but it looks like it's gone over the boundary line.
So that is not the last touch rule, so we get a throw in. A lot of players now come in and congregate. You can see there.
There's a bit of confusion. The referees conversing.
I haven't got a 32.
I'll have a look and see who that is. That is a Van Cruising. That's Angus Van Cruising. That's Gus Van Cruising.
Thank you very much, Simon. As ball on that far wing now. A lot of players out there, you can see. Big tall player there, Harrison Ram. And a bit of bumping between players. Watch out for Elva again in here. He's right next to the umpire. He almost wants to take it out of the umpire's hands, I'd suggest. There he is. Gets hold of it. That's what he can do. And he's extracted a free kick as well. Well done, young man. And as I said, just ball hungry. He would have probably taken that ball and thrown it up himself if he could have.
He's got a tremendous capacity over the ball. One of these players is gifted at reading the play and getting his head over the ball without getting hurt.
Very passionate too. We tried to get him on last week for the commentary, but he was a bit late, or not late getting to the game. He just didn't want to come to the game not playing, but he did, and an outstanding young man, and wouldn't come on commentary. He just wanted to help his teammates and be out there at the breaks and so on. And why wouldn't you when you see the start he's had already picking up possessions? And well, ball comes back, big pack forms over the top now. They go forward again here, Westminster. That's Fortuitous and playing in front. Well done, and that is Daniel Will.
That is Daniel.
Nice kick in. Stokel this time. Couldn't quite. Good recovery. Can he get it up? It's anyone's ball. Bobbling around. Gee, a lot of blue numbers there. Atkinson back to help out. Gets a handball across. That's out of bounds though. Harper Ryan, and they were under pressure there. Sacred Heart with 2 goals, 4-16. Plays no score, 13 minutes in. And Westminster attacking as we speak. That throw comes right back towards the middle of the ground. None of the players were set up for that. So Sacred Heart come out. Westminster, this is what we're talking about. He does well there, Dickinson, to set the line up. Trying to help out. So Dickinson will get another go at this. Just watch where he hits. Tim Elva's in there, bumping a few players. So just watch where Dickinson hits here. He's on the right hand. Sacred Heart player comes over the top. Tracking that ball out was Will Young. And also in there, Jack Elva.
A couple of young, strong ruckmen there, not afraid to get in there into a rucking contest.
Clay Shadforth right there behind this ball. It just drops that bit short. They try and get over the top of his Sacred Heart through Joel Parker. Gee, good in traffic. Gets that kick forward. Good one-on-one battle here. Big, tall player. Back on it. Well done by Cam Qualman. And it's come back at him while he's on the ground, young Cam. So well done there. Sacred Heart player taking the ground. And he started the game very well, has Lucas Camporale as well. So he's going forward there. Up it goes this time, Dickinson. Shadforth, watch for this, around the corner. That's gone 50 metres. That's a fair kick into space. Good 2-on-2 battle here. First to it, Sacred Heart. They go outside through Luke Candy. Gets it back again. Sells a bit of that. Goes on the left foot. Beautifully balanced young player. And not the best kick. The big fist, Darby Fitzgerald. Shadforth here. Watch him dance in the traffic there. Beautiful work. Bounces on the cricket pitch and not a true bounce, so it's anyone's ball. Sacred Heart under a bit of pressure here on the wing. Gee, went to, you could see what he was trying to do there, Candy, the left footer, and on the right, not so flash there, Simon will keep it respectable as Jack Elver about to kick in. Is he a left footer, is he?
No, I think Jack's a right footer.
Yeah, he just got a couple of metres there. So into the forward line. Anyone's ball. Where are the crummers? That's tight. This is where you need your pressure forwards to be up. Putting pressure on. Just a hack kick forward. Shadforth sets himself. Look how high he flies there. Around it comes Elver. Plenty of time in space. He gives it out to the player in space. Will he get it back? He's at the back. Well done, Tim Elver, because he ran and played for that. Puts it out wide. Is that the brother?
Switching play to Will Young.
Will Young?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's, I will say, Clay Shadforth's effort in that pack as well. Very good. Just cut off there in front of Will Thomas as that ball came in. So we'll get a throw in half forward flank. 16 plays 0, 15 minutes and 50 seconds into the first quarter.
It's certainly a game where there's been a bit of pressure applied by Westminster. They just haven't been able to break through the Sacred Heart defence.
Atkinson just weaves his way through, handball out. Sometimes the players can hold on too long. They run in waves, though, Sacred Heart. Look at them, 3-4. Look at Shadforth coming. Gee, he actually ran past the players there, good speed. And that's put pressure on the kicker. You can have physical pressure, you can have visual pressure, and that's what that was. So Westminster relieve again. This looks like, is that Coleman or
Darby's found
Fitzgerald?
Yeah, Darby's found Clay working back.
Geez, he's doing a lot of work too. Puts it up high, but drifting across in front was the player for Sacred Heart. Had a next whistle out there, but I think it was just the umpire adjudicating. Up high, and they're in again here. This time, Lucas Camporale out wide. Mark and play on. They're inside 50. Bullet pass into Atkinson, covering a lot of ground, and sometimes, Simon, the on-ballers go forward for their rest. It's not really a rest, they just go forward, and sometimes they rotate them off. In the case of Atkinson, well, he gets to rest in the forward line, so that's how highly the captain's thought of.
He's a very skillful player, and Sacred Heart seemed to be able to create the spare man there.
So Ned Atkinson, you can see the 50-metre line there. So he's going to have to kick from 45, and it's a fair angle. Well, it's a nice kick, that's a strong, strong kick. And just offline there, so their 5th point for the quarter. And
probably kicked it close to 60 metres then.
Quick in, that's William. Yeah, it was a strong kick, wasn't it? Max Robertson. Talking about a long kick, Max Robertson's got a long kick when he gets on the run last week. Very good. This time just goes short to Elver, why wouldn't you? Runs to the boundary, not really the spot to go. So Elver now allowed to play on because of the stand rule, gets it down towards the wing. They all set themselves off hands. Hasn't touched the ground, but there's no markers. Jack Lees gets that kick in now. Big pack forms. Sacred Heart this way, that way. Around the corner. A lot of time for Joel Parker to have a look. Shadforth in good position. Is he going to be caught up by? He's going to run away from Atkinson here. Takes a bounce. They're going stride for stride. Now he puts the jets on, runs away, and he's gone too far. He's gone 15.1 metres, I'd suggest there, Simon. And I love seeing that when you've got the courage to run away from a player that's chasing you. Unfortunately, he got caught up. Just went a bit far, and Atkinson feeds that ball. Is that a push? No, it's not. And Will Rooney.
Clay's got beautiful pace, a bit of mid-range torque, and sometimes you think he should be over at Paris right now.
Well, we talk about that, and as I said, I used to do the drafting years ago with the AFL and so on, but you look at players can have speed, but to have a change in gear and acceleration that he's got there, that is amazing. That's a great thing to watch, because not a lot of players have got that and the courage to take them on.
A strongly contested mark, and Elliot Sandercock ended up with the ball in hand.
I don't think either just go back to Clay Shadforth. That won't be the last time we see him do that tonight. So play to your strengths as Sacred Heart now come out. Nice kick along the wing here and a good mark by Harper Ryan. They play on immediately into a dangerous position inside. Oh, the big fella Steckles. He's a long way out. Might be in ruck. Here's Shadforth dancing this way, that way. Hurried kick by Darby Fitzgerald, but fortuitously, player ran over the top of there. Lewis Green.
Lewis Green, yes, yep.
Into the forward line this time. They've structured up well here. So it looks like Charlie Bradford's gone forward and Ethan Steckles gone down, maybe into the ruck. He's in the centre of the ground. So just a little bit of structural things there by the coach, Tim Weatherald, and first shot on goal here.
Ethan's running at about 6'6" in the old scale.
Wow, he's a good size, isn't he? So Charlie Bradford, put a bit of a jump on it, straight over the top of the umpire's head. Surely didn't give us a lot. The umpire get excited, we say, and get excited they do. The Westminster crowd erupts, and I'll tell you what is down here, Simon. Just down in front of us to the right, we can see all the party lights set up there. And Glenelg Club, they do it well. They've got that little area down there with the bar open, and so on. So we'll just have a cameraman have a quick shot of it. There it is there, a little bit of a party atmosphere, and probably both sets of supporters down there enjoying a few little raspberries as we speak.
I think there's a few parents in there, and I reckon they're enjoying those patio heaters as well.
Yeah, I did walk through there. It was beautiful, the warmth through there, but it's not really a freezing night as we speak at the moment. But I don't think it's going to get any warmer either, as that's got to be dropping the ball surely. Good pressure by Westminster. Unable to pick it up was Jack Elver. Over the top now by Harper Ryan. There's some pressure in there. Spinning around now, goes forward, and that's a strong grab. A really good grab there. Contender for our mark of the day by Dartfish.
It looked like Eddie Pedler there taking that mark under quite a bit of pressure from Max Robertson.
I think you're correct too.
He's coming in from about 30 metres out, straight in front. He's put that one straight through the centre. Scorer's showing a little bit of flourish there. The goal umpires are getting ready to wave that one through. And a few boys putting their hands on the hips. It looks like they're running quite hard this game. There's a bit of pressure on both sides.
Just that mark, wasn't it? It was a very strong mark up forward there. As winding around to 21.50.
Did you catch who kicked that ball in? A quality delivery, putting it out in front.
No, but gee, it was so close in regards to, like you say, that metre. If the backman starts behind, you're never going to make that metre up.
Strong centre contest there. Looks like Sacred Heart are coming with the ball out of the centre breakdown. Clay Shadforth's had a soccer at it.
Yeah.
And put it 30 metres off the boot, off the ground.
So Sacred Heart, they play a very structured, almost like choreography type game. And just at the edge of the cricket pitch they are now. They haven't gone forward much now. They do on the diagonal. Possession football. Look at the players run past. Squeeze himself up a little bit, but Sacred Heart possession football. Calls for the players to come at him. That's a long raking kick into the forward line. No big men fly. Good spoil Westminster. Sacred Heart player falling over there. Westminster bundle the ball out. And well done there, playing in front. Will Thomas. Can they just hold it up, maybe a little bit of tempo football, Simon?
It would be a good idea to slow it down a bit in regards to Westminster's play. But Sacred Heart are moving the ball as well as the Kookaburras, the structure they're playing. They're flinging it around the ground, creating triangles, switches. Max Robertson defends strongly there for Westminster, taking a grab.
Strong player, isn't he, Max? I saw him last week, but just holds himself over the ball very well.
I think we nearly saw Clay take off again, but that pressure from Sacred Heart, the man on the mark, was there, holding him in.
Shares the ball around. I like to see that. He could have got it back too, but over the back it is. Beats everyone. Big fella there. They did a good job to pick that up. The player there for Sacred Heart, just wandering off to left the screen. I'll get his number in a minute, but that was a great pick-up off the ground. As that ball comes in, the big men contest. Gee, gliding by, Sacred Heart player there. Good speed. Gets it down the ground and well cut off again. Max Robertson having a great game. Does he give it to a player now? Let it go if it's too hard is the call at training. That's what we used to say now. They're running Sacred Heart just into space, making that player have to work. And that's a strong tackle there. He's not going anywhere. And That's Coleman again.
Yeah, Cam measures about 5'8", a boy from Bordertown. Surprising turn of pace and a ferocious tackler. It's hard work to get past him.
One of those wiry, but he won't let you go. Well done by the young man.
A very tough country kid, and a lot of the boys out here from both schools are boarders.
Yes.
And of course, in country clubs, so many of them train with the reserves in the A grade. So they've got a little bit more skill under lights than we might think.
And play. They play. You know, a lot of them go back, play senior colts and or seniors on the one day.
A bit unlucky not to get a free kick there, Will Thomas. Will Thomas as he slung to the ground.
So umpire, he balls it up right in that dangerous position. Good, beautiful tap over the back by Steckel. That's craft in ruck work there.
He used his height to advantage, didn't he?
And the team are going forward now. Good old one-on-one battle now. So it's over the back, reading that ball better. It was almost too good a kick, that kick, as the siren goes. So the score at quarter time, we have 3 goals for Sacred Heart to 1 goal straight Westminster, and we will take a short break.
That's the right score. The scoreboard's wrong, is it?
Welcome back, folks. The second quarter about to start, and it is Sacred Heart leading Westminster 22 to 1 goal straight. Just in reference to the pink socks, it is pink round. At the conclusion of the game, the two teams are to come together for a joint presentation. There will be 2 medals, one for each team, and the coach from each side is to select a player from their team to award the pink medal to. So it's the person in the team that you love to play with because they give their team and teammates their all. They encourage and care for their teammates. So a great initiative for the pink round, and it is the SAAS pink round to promote women's health awareness in our schools and community, a chance to pause and think of the women who are in our lives. So Simon, a great initiative, and we all have some of those women in our lives, whether it's parents, partners, friends, whatever, as this Sacred Heart team go forward here, surging into goal, and just finished with a shot on goal there. And not much celebration, I'm just trying to see who that was.
The kick into the forward line came from Brodie Bretones. Lovely delivery and picked up and put straight through.
So, nice goal there to Sacred Heart. We apologise there as we were reading out the pink award. So there we go. Tom Dermody it was, number 20. So nice goal by Tom, and they surge ahead. 4-5-29, plays 1 goal straight. Of course, Tony Neal here, joined by Simon Shepherd, the principal at Westminster, and an entertaining game. And I just thought, Simon, the Sacred Heart team in the first quarter, once again, very well structured. It's a strong mark too. As that ball comes in, we'll come back to the game in a moment there with a really good mark by Joel Parker. And he's going to go back for a set shot, probably 45 out when he kicks it. And we're right behind this one.
So Sacred Heart at this point of the game, you're seeing some really good one-on-one competitions, and it looks like they're getting up and getting on top of their man. Will Young contested that mark strongly.
And the win the 50-50s, he runs straight in, and that's where he kicks it. That's a very strong kick. Is it touched on the line? Doesn't appear to be. And Joel Parker, so individual goal scorers as we speak, there's 5 individual ones. That's Candy, Parker, Dermody, Eddie Pedler and Lucas Camporelli. Have all kicked 1, and Charlie Bradford's kicked the 1 for Westminster. And just going to say there, yeah, Sacred Heart in that first quarter, their structure's very good, and as we saw then, just that ability to play in front and win a 50-50. But going the other way, Westminster, they had their moments, and there's some of those moments, and when they go forward with speed, if they can catch out the opposition midfield behind the ball, like this, then they can get forward. Unfortunately, that kick was smothered. And then they have their own little one-on-one battles as well. So there's moments in there for Westminster and glimpses. And Tim Weatherald, very knowledgeable football player. Is that Elva again coming through? Was that Tim?
That is Tim.
Yep. Just gives it up to the opposition. They almost went to play him quickly. Luke Candy having a very good game. He is a left footer. We saw what he did with his right boot earlier, but that was under pressure. That's a nice kick over the back. Anyone's ball playing in front. Westminster 1-2. A player through traffic, gives to a player gliding by, kicks it down the ground, a little bit of a push. Anyone's ball right on the boundary. Candy, and a good smother there. Well done. And they are the 1%ers, Alex Zokas, the 1%ers, Simon.
Absolutely.
Very valuable to the teammates to see that.
There was great pressure by Daniel Wills and Alex then to contain Sacred Heart as they looked to burst down the sideline.
Nick Foster, that was bursting through. Great tackle too, Charlie Bradford.
And Charlie is one of the Year 10 players we mentioned before.
That's
He's
correct.
Pushing about 6'3".
Thought he was the other one.
A very strong cricketer and a good young footballer, terrific young bloke.
Good athlete too, good engine. He's just taken off down the back there. He's out the back here as Westminster wrapped up. We've seen this several times tonight, the second ball up. All the players are in, the wingers are in, and there's pretty much a line of players down to the left and pretty open in the forward line here to the right, depending on where this ball goes.
It was no surprise to see Tim Olver coming through, crashing the pack then, but Sacred Heart have cleaned up nicely.
So this is where this ball will go to space because all the players were pretty much in a line, trying to get after it, Thomas McKay, and ran across the line. One of the interesting things, I know we've got the super the blockbuster day on Tuesday, but Sacred Heart, a fantastic team to watch, of course. But why have they got such small numbers on their jumpers? That's the only question I ask as a commentator, Simon. I say that respectfully. They do look great, but they are very small numbers on their jumpers, and it makes it a little bit difficult at times. But I'll tell you what, if that's all we've got to worry about, life's pretty good.
Do you think we could be showing our age there, not being able to see those numbers quite as well as we could have when we were young?
That's why we have a monitor, isn't it? Oh, that's it. So Shadforth just tracking that ball across. He's on the opposite side, so he can run towards this pack if he needs to. Sacred Heart, it goes up there. Shadforth came in, put the pressure on to Atkinson on that kick. Westminster now, a couple of times they've done that. They've run back into traffic, and this kick comes back into traffic from going outside in. That's a very good mark. That's Mitch Dickinson. And just that presence around the ground, sorry.
Some great work there by Cam Coleman across the half-back line again, showing some great pace.
Big pack goes up. Shadforth's got his hands full with Jack Walters. I'm just watching a little bit of byplay here. Number 13, he'll go back and he'll stick to him like glue. Here he is here. And that is great work by our cameraman. There he is, goes one-on-one with him. Just tries to push him out of the position. Shadforth then, see, unselfishly puts a good shepherd on, the 1%ers again. Anyone's ball by the boundary, and out it goes. So lots of little bits of byplay. No one behind the ruckman here. So Mitch Dickinson can get into space.
Well, Thomas did run behind him there, hoping for a little tap over the back of the head.
There's Shadforth, gets it back off the rebound. There's where the space is behind the players. They can't quite get it out. 1, 2, 3. Gee, there's good pressure here. Again, I talked about those moments, but Sacred Heart, they're going to weave their way through, or are they? No, they're not. Atkinson now gets the ball deep down into the forward line. Is it over the top? And just running out of bounds. So a lot of traffic work right there, Simon, in front of us on this wing.
Some great skills shown by Sacred Heart there, wasn't there? The 1-2s, the handballs to space. But a booming kick there, beat them all and rolled out over the bounds. You'd think there was a 20-knot breeze blowing down the way that ball travelled.
Oh, player goes up high early, and that's where...
It's Elliot Sandicott.
Unfortunately, talent and ability is one thing, but ambition gets ahead of both, and not quite for the young man, but give it a go. Well, it's back in that area now, and this time a good mark by Will Rooney. Gee, looks inside. He had a player at centre forward, and he winds himself up in a lot of trouble there, does Rooney. He, in fact, gives it away to the opposition, and this is Joey Otto crossing. Very well balanced player. Just puts this one to grass. It's fortuitous to Westminster. They bang it out of the middle now towards the two players. Player just falling over, big Steckle in the forward line. Player for Sacred Heart can't get it either. Luckily they have support. 1-2 handball. This time it's Harper Ryan. Down that wing. Westminster lead to the ball. Backing up Sacred Heart. Around it comes. This time through. Looks like Camperale again. Long kick down. And not quite through, so just offline for a point. And 5 goals, 6. They go ahead, they move in that scoreboard as that kick comes out down the ground. Beautiful kick, Elva. Industrious Tim Elva gives one back. Looks to go outside and then comes inside, just as long as you don't tighten yourself up. Gee, Elva glides by.
Lewis has been told to play on. Actually, he's 1 of 25. He's manoeuvring on the spot, pulled the Sacred Heart player over the line, and Jack Lays unwittingly gave away a 25-metre.
They go square. If they can just get it past that midfield, this is where they do it right, Westminster, as 1-2, player goes inside, Elva's in the middle, they elect to go long, ball's on the ground, Steckle couldn't, play Shadforth, watch for this, anything could happen, just paddles it out, taking the ground, surely that's a big hit. And Dickinson, no, that is...
Lewis Green,
Lewis
the man
Green.
who started it all.
So Lewis Green will go back, probably kick from 45. Elva there cheekily trotting by again. He's just a ball magnet.
So Lewis, a terrific young bloke, who's just gone and done some aptitude testing to join the Defence Force. And he's looking at trying to join the Army as he finished his Year 12 this year. He's coming in for a kick. Yeah, he's 45 metres out. He's leant back a little bit on that. It's not quite got the distance, but strongly taken in the square. Has the mark been paid? Yes, it has. Ryan Stokes used all of his height to pull that mark in right in the square.
Ethan, isn't it?
Ethan, sorry. Ryan's little brother is back in Kangaroo Island.
He'd be pretty happy with that. He's got a mark from about 150 kilometres away, but Ethan, and we do say hello to the family down there watching on Kangaroo Island. It's fantastic that they can get him onto the live stream. And he's threatened a few times, and he did this last week, threatened a few times, and he can be one of those real game changers up forward. And if he can just believe in himself and get some of those grabs and really show the football world out there what he's capable of, because he is actually capable of very strong marks like that and a beautiful kick on him. So well done, young man.
Hope he grows in confidence. He had a bit of the season off with injury, and Dad's actually travelled from overseas tonight to be here.
Ah, sensational.
Dad's sitting down here, travelled all the way from KI to watch the game.
Yep,
and as
beautiful.
We mentioned him last week about the family heritage, and it's his uncle, David.
Yes, that's right. Sticks, long-time player for South Adelaide, may have played over 200 games. Fantastic person as well, David Steckel, and well, Ethan making his own mark, and that's what he can do up forward. Take that strong grab, and that straightens up Westminster. If they can get another one down here, Elva trying to get through there. He actually, well, which one are we talking about? Because Jack and Tim are in there, and they came out the other side of that. And, well, there he goes into ruck now, so that's interesting. Ethan Steckel there in ruck. Oh, player's going to be met heavily here. Just got the kick around the corner, did Tom Dermody. Anyone's ball, 50-50 on the ground. They back up here very well to Tom Simpson, to Sacred Heart. Around the corner this time, Tom Dermody again into that pocket and just wanders out in front of Ned Atkinson. So interesting with Sacred Heart, whether their pride says, OK, we got a goal scored against us, we've got to get one back, or whether Westminster can travel it down the ground. I see player free here in the middle, Elliot Sandico as well, and it's going to come his way. He's just a little bit of a mismatch here, and it's going to go straight towards, well, he's at the back of this pack, and off hands. Gee, one player stayed inside, and that was Jack Lees. Couldn't quite get it out. A lot of handball. They move around. Candy moves well, gets it across. Nice kick in by Will Rooney, and it is Rooney that's taken the mark, actually, so he kicked it to himself, according to my call. That's those small numbers playing havoc, and waited for the lead to come. Looks like, yes, it is Atkinson. He's certainly got a bit of a strut like his father. Just the walking gait, and well, he's certainly got a long kick, Simon. We saw him do that earlier kick,
a booming kick,
55, 60 metres. Well, we've seen 2 or 3 tonight. So
we've got a great angle to watch this from. We're watching right from behind.
At the post, actually. Oh, and he's hooked it, has he? Well, he was running at the right post and hit the left post. Worked that one out. So 2 goals 3 for the quarter, Sacred Heart. They kicked 3 goals 5 in the first quarter. 3 goals 4, 3 5.
So this the dew might be starting to settle on the ground, and a bit of moisture coming onto that yellow ball. And in the break we talked about the chrome dye, which is used on leather balls. It's got a tendency to make them a bit more slippery when they're wet.
And just as you mentioned, that ball does just slide towards the play there. So just cover off on that, Simon, because a lot of people I know with the red ball, it does a true bounce and it, they're shiny, but when that wears off, the water soaks in. But the yellow ball becomes like a piece of soap, doesn't it? So it's very hard, the different dye they use.
It seems that they can get a vegetable dye to work on for a red dye, but not so well for a yellow dye. So they have to do a chrome-based dye. That's usually what will happen. So the ball ends up a little bit tougher. Clay Shadforth's kicking up the centre wing. A strong fly there.
That's a great grab. That is Thomas Mackay, or Mackay.
A long 15 metres run there by Sacred Heart as they kicked the ball forward, or went low, piercing kick, smothered off the boot by Max Robertson. And Clay Shadforth applies a bone-crunching tackle in the forward pocket.
It's still in play there. They're lucky to get the acquired distance there. The line up again here. Number 20 is Tom Dermody. He runs around a long way, and in doing so, hooks it right out the opposite side.
A bit of a ruckman's kick there, although he's not a ruckman. Max Robertson taking the kick in for Westminster. Deep kick. Kicked it across the face of goals, and a big body check there. The free has been paid. The boys just have to remember to keep the eyes on the ball as Lewis Green contested strongly for that one.
Just handballs off to Elva again, doing a lot of work from down the back line there. and fortuitously bounces for Nick Foster. Nice kick in now. That's a long, long kick. Well done, and gliding across that diagonal lead. I've been very impressed with Mitch Dickinson. He's a good mover for a tall man. Puts it into that pocket, and really well done. Cam Coleman it is. No, that's, Will Young.
Yeah, worked very hard to take that mark.
See, Mitch Dickinson, he's just done a couple of things that have been super impressive. And, Nick Foster.
Lovely centering kick. Nick could almost kick the ball home from here. He doesn't live far from this ground. But instead he's lining up for goal. He's on about 45-degree angle, about 30 metres out.
So Westminster's that way now?
He spends a bit of time on this ground. Has played a bit of footy with Glenelg
So then next
as a junior.
Westminster that way?
Yep, Nick Foster.
And can we push
He's stepping in for the kick. Smooth approach. It looks like he's got it through the middle. He has. He's kicked a lovely goal, but it looked a bit low, didn't it? Low off the boot.
Just did enough to get it through, but well done by Nick Foster there. And 2 goals, 3 plays, 2 goals for the quarter. A good interchange here. Both teams making Sacred Heart now making 2, and that was interesting. The 2 players that ran on almost collided there. That was Harry Franz was looking at the forward line, and Daniel Will was looking at the wing, and not looking at each other. They almost collided there. As a couple of interchanges happen. Ball in the middle of the ground now. And, Westminster.
It's a funny
3
phenomenon.
goals straight.
It's a funny phenomenon. In the modern game, a player kicks a goal and they tend to get brought to the bench and have a rest.
Yep.
Poor old Ethan, when he kicked a goal, got sent into ruck.
Made him work hard, and he was a good foil down there. Oh, just about a mark there, not able to. Oh, Sacred Heart, that is quick. Around the corner. That's a quick answer too. And that's Harry Hosking with his first. So, Sacred Heart have got goals through Candy, Parker, Dermody, Pedler, Campriali and Hosking. So no one player that's stood out up forward for them. They just share it around. And why wouldn't you when you can see goals like that coming? And, of course, Steckel, Foster and Bradford all have 1 goal each for Westminster.
It might be indicative of the pressure the players are under. As
Yes.
they are getting the ball, no one's really standing out, but the players are doing well under pressure.
So ball back in the middle. Westminster would want to answer here. We're late in this quarter. 17-minute mark, still probably 5 minutes to go. Getting a lot of it. Tom Dermody.
It's fantastic crumbing, wasn't it? Lovely taps
Taps it out. Yep.
out of the centre
well
by
done.
Ethan Stokel, and Tom Dermody was through there with great crumbing.
See, there's some pressure out there. We talked about this in the first quarter. Just that little bit of pressure by Westminster in the moments. And Will Young, that is a super strong tackle out there. Well done, young man. And he's picked up the free kick. Is he a country lad as well?
No, Will's a city boy, but he's a terrific young cricketer as well. He's played a bit of cricket for Sturt, a great spin bowler, and a good eye with the bat.
Yeah, well, he's a very good sportsman. He might have to pick between the two as that ball just bobbling around. It comes out now. Sacred Heart, they're going backwards to go forward. They'll try and pick a player out, and they do on that far side, and that is Jack Lees. He now goes long. Gee, that is a long kick into the forward line, and that is a huge fly around the corner, and that is a goal as well. Boy, oh boy, what about the fly, though?
Is he up and moving? He came down from a great height.
Oh, he went up vertical and came down horizontal.
Now moisture on the ground seems to be coming into play too.
Boy.
A few boys are losing their feet.
That was a huge ride. That was Ben Campriali. And just see who that was that kicked the goal. I reckon it was his second, was it? Harry Hosking with his second. And well done to him. But, gee, I'll tell you what, we were all watching for that mark. That was huge. So, unfortunately, we haven't got replays on our stream tonight, but you'll be able to go back and watch it. As,
A
just
replay
coming
would have
on.
been great then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Darby Fitzgerald just coming on down deep, taking it with
Ethan's
one
gone
hand.
Fist, yeah. Big punch out of the centre bounce.
Yeah, Will Thomas onto it, and this is what I'm talking about. If they can beat that midfield and get it down there quickly, this way, that way, under pressure again, having a great game. Tom Dermody again, around the corner. Oh, big pack forms. I'll tell you what, there's no short steps out here. Lucas Campriali this time. Gee, goes long. That's a raking kick. Is it going to bounce? What's happened there?
It looked like it was helped through. No, it's made it through for a goal.
He's given that a goal, has he?
The 2 hands went up and 2
Not
flags
too much
are being
excitement.
waved.
So that was Campriali with his second. I'm just waiting for the crowd and everyone else, and everything just went stagnant then. But that was a long raking kick, and just holding his backside there, Ben Camporelli, after that super high fly, and he's come down very hard. But another goal on the board.
I think everyone was quiet, but we all looked to the screen for that instant replay.
Gee, they've kicked a couple of quick ones, have Sacred Heart. They go to 8-7, 55 to 3 goals straight, and it catches up quickly on you. They're 5 goals now for the quarter. Handball over, they go forward again. Jack Lees gives to the call, and the Westminster player was up to it. That was Angus Van Croosen. Gee, around we go this time.
There's some great football being played by Sacred Heart. Some real quality
Raphael,
coming to the
was
fore.
it? McKay. So Thomas McKay, number 36. And that was very, very quick football. They've kicked 6 goals, 3 for the quarter. Just in a flurry, Simon, the last 3 or 4 goals have come within about 5 minutes. It was 15-minute mark, and all of a sudden away it went, and Max Robertson now coming on, trying to quell the flood. The unfortunate thing is it's not happening down deep in the goal square. It's happening from outside that, in around that 50-metre mark.
Yeah, I think some of the Sacred Heart quality really shines through about this time of the game. We're coming towards the long break. Some of the boys are leading it. They've been working very hard to try and contain the Sacred Heart players who have got great skills, and that's looks like Will Daniels having a run with that then. Daniel Wills, rather, the long way around. But again, great defensive work by Sacred Heart back there.
Grabbed by Harry Giles.
Harry Giles pulls in the mark. Contest.
Gee, they don't drop too many, do they? They've got some tools out there. Great little kick too. Lucas Camporelli again holds it up, wheels around on his left, goes in. Oh, gee, had to float in the air and wait for that one, did Harry Franz, and did so. But he's you can see the 50-metre line on the mark there. So player glides by for the handball, doesn't get it. Thomas McKay. So long way out. Harry Franz. Oh, marking the goal square.
It almost looked uncontested, didn't it?
Gee, and just walking back, doesn't have to turn around and have a look, because there won't be any leads given. And this is Brodie Bretones. I reckon he may have started in the ruck, did Bretones, and kicks that one forward. They've got some tools out there, so he too has kicked the goal. They've got 9 goal scorers as we speak, and they've come in a flurry. They've kicked 7 goals for the quarter. That'll take them up to 10. And the scoreboard stops flashing. 10-7. 67 plays 3 goals straight, 18, and well, that second quarter's just got away from Westminster a little bit here. They've kicked the 2 goals straight, but 5 extra to Sacred Heart. So
yeah, there's some very silky skills being shown by the Sacred Heart players here, and their capacity. As the temperature's dropped a little bit, the ball's got a bit more slippery.
I did say Steckel won that last tap, not this one, the one prior, but there was no one on his right hand where he was punching to. Very basic run in and hit it to that 10 o'clock spot on the clock. This way, that way, Sacred Heart. Gee, long handball out. Goes to Luke Candy. Kicks it into centre forward. Nice work there. And looked like he was going to punch and then took the mark. Joey Otto crossing. And I think, Simon, the thing we spoke about last week and this week, still be doing the same things in the last 5 minutes of a game that you would in the first, and that shows through with young Joey there, the way that he took that grab and just plays good football, doesn't worry about the scoreboard. They're out here. This is what I'm talking about. If they can get past the runners here, Westminster, they do so. It's a scrubby kick inside 50, one-on-one battle. Sacred Heart player, he's brought the ground as he kicks it. It's out on the wing. Watch out for the collision here.
Alex Soka's working hard.
Yeah, a little bit of a basketball bounce there and just held up. It's not holding the ball. The crowd calls for it, but just held up.
There wasn't much time for a disposal. He was well tackled, well met. Will Thomas working hard at the breakdown there has managed to pick it up, and he's been immediately wrapped up by a double tackle. Maybe a little bit more communication is needed between those Rovers and the ruckman.
Yeah, so the rucks here, look, good contest, winning again, but hit straight to the opposition, and that was Atkinson who was standing still, but it's hitting down to that 10 o'clock spot every time, and yet the opposition are... So just watch this time, Mitch Dickinson, if he's a right-hander and he doesn't palm it, the percentages say he's going to hit straight towards Atkinson here, exactly where it goes, and Atkinson tracks it along with number 7 in Joey Parker, so it's not hard to set up for this, a little bit harder now in that mud, but Dickinson's winning these taps once again. Is he going to go anywhere else? they just pretty much hit the same spot. Sacred Heart, oh, well done there by Parker.
Spin out of trouble, wasn't it?
Shadforth couldn't. Oh, Shadforth just slid there and he's hurt his knee a bit, jagged his knee just as he went for the tackle. Oh, in under this, the Sacred Heart player. First one to recover was Candy, puts it into a dangerous position. Well done, that's a grab over the tap. And Shadforth's coming off the ground. That's not good to see. Slid into that last one and you could just see him hold the knee and not good at the minute.
Coming off the bench to replace him is a great young player. Of course, Tim Alba has been a great ball getter for Westminster.
Sacred Heart player coming off holding his arm as well, or shoulder, so that doesn't look
hope
good
he's okay
at all. Gee, that looks like Lucas Camporale as well. I hope he's okay, as with Clay Shadforth. So we go into our half-time break and a big quarter by Sacred Heart, 10-7, 67 to 3 goals straight, 18. So a 39-point lead as we speak to Sacred Heart, and we will take a short break. Sir, yes, sir. Thank you very much. Just turn you on. Welcome back, folks, and start of the second half. Westminster and Sacred Heart here. And revolving doors, always a pleasure to have our guests on, and we've got Stephen Schwert with us, absolute champion of the game, and well, we'll come to you in a moment. Stephen, first of all, welcome, mate.
Yeah, g'day, Tony. Good to be here. Thank you.
And Sacred Heart, mate, they're playing a good brand of football. They're a good team to watch, whether you're a supporter or an opposition. Really, they're so well structured, aren't they?
Yeah, I've actually enjoyed watching their the way they've used the ball by hand. They're very good at getting their hands free and taking the tackle and finding the free man, and they've been good to watch. I think our boys have been pretty competitive. They just dropped off a bit towards the end of that, back end of that second quarter, but up until then we were in the contest. But you know, they're a good outfit.
Yeah, they kicked that 3 or 4 goals,
Yeah.
didn't they? Maybe 5 in that short period of time
Yeah.
as Dermody just wanders in here. And what's he done? Straight over the top of the goal umpire's head. So Tom Dermody, a good spread of goal scorers as well. They've 10 different goal scorers they've got there. Of course, Westminster. And you spoke about Westminster, and just for the viewers out there, it is Stephen Schwert, former Crow and Centrals player, and then, well, fitness with the Crows and other AFL teams, Gold Coast Suns, was it? Saka, probably a lifetime of fitness involvement and sport science, and it's just fantastic to get an insight, Stephen, on what these young players go through. And you see, you and I spoke about it last week about the weights and the different things, but Sacred Heart have got a lot of tall young lads, haven't they? And they've still got growth in their bodies yet, a lot of these lads.
They had a couple of big guys that look like, you know, they look like men already, don't they?
Yeah, so this is good to see, actually. Lucas Campriali back on the ground. He went off carrying it was either his arm or his shoulder there, and didn't look good at all. Can you give us an update too on Clay Shadforth went off, just slid in front of us on the wing out here and limped off? Has he gone back on?
He's back on the field at the moment.
Great.
Yeah, we need him at his best.
Well, he has his brilliant moments. I spoke to him before the game. That piece on the far side, mate, we talked about it where players can have pace, but to have acceleration away and to be able to change gear. I know he got caught, but he knew Atkinson was on him and he just ran away from him.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's a hometown a view, but I didn't think he ran that far. I thought he might let that one go.
Well, I called it 15.1 metres. That's how close it was. As around the corner they go here. Just see who that was. No, it wasn't Atkinson. That might have been Dermody again. So he's got his third. And I think as a football purist, though, Stephen, to come along and just watch a game, and I know you've got allegiances to Westminster, but just to watch a game of football like this and see it unfold, and you know, we've both probably played in teams where we've won by plenty of goals but been flogged by plenty, and I always remember someone, might have been down here at Glenelg, someone saying to me, yeah, but you've still got to kick them.
Yes,
You've still got to kick the goals. So the work rate here, Shadforth just on the right. I was talking about, so Dickinson's looked very good in ruck, but he's come out limping there. Might have got a corky, number 44 there. But he's heading to his right to that 10 o'clock spot, and there wasn't anyone roving to him. I think he won so many of them.
Maybe the Westminster boys are actually trying to predict what the Sacred Heart lad's doing, given he's so tall and having a dominant hand.
Rove to the opposition, and Lee Matthews, not who wins the tap, it's what happens next.
Exactly right.
So they're out here again into that forward line. It's a ground ball, so interesting to see the tall guys get down low, and they can't. So Andre Lim over the top. Couple of times there. See that desperation there has been good by Westminster. We talk about the moments and the desperation and you know, the Tim Elvers running by, but they're back inside again. It's this precision use of the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been good to watch. That's been my highlight. I've noticed they had work by hand, but even the start of the third quarter, their foot passing is a high level.
Well, Tom Dermody is lining up, and you know, he'd be lucky he wouldn't be 6 foot, this young man. So he's one of those smaller forwards that can dart around, lines up in front,
and across the face, and
just across. Yeah, and I remember I had a mate that looked after Alan Didat when he went to Collingwood, and you know, he wasn't a tall forward, he was that mid-size, but he said they had to train him 2 or 3 times. Don't do one lead, do 3 or 4 zigzag leads, and Dermody, not that he's a didact, but he's not a tall forward, so don't do one lead, do 2 or 3.
Yeah, we don't always see
Find
that on
the
the
space.
vision when we're watching a game, and it's good to watch behind the play to see how a forward does get free and how much work they've got to do and the movement they've got to do.
And it's, you know, well, you could tell us with the GPS trackers what a lot of them do. You know, they'd be running sometimes maybe 5 to 8 kilometres in a game, if not more.
Oh yeah, forwards would do, you know, nowadays when they're pushing up the ground a lot further than they did perhaps in the old day. They're probably doing closer to 12 k's in a game, you know, some of the forwards, or you know, because they're.
And the ratio is not. It's not just a jog, is it? It's a medium, 50% run, and sometimes up to 60, 70, and then of course your sprints on your leads.
Yeah, exactly. And the strongest correlation to game involvement's always been high speed running. You know, if you can, you know, get involved in the game by running fast, in some way you're going to get to find the ball.
So the ability to get from, we'll watch a bit of this, and I love the insight that you can give us, Stephen, in the ability to get, I'd say the ball's here and then it gets kicked down, but a player might run past handball here and all of a sudden he's at the next pack. So covering ground as well, we talk about speed, but then there's covering ground and the ability to get into a good spot.
Yeah.
And you sometimes see players walking and then other players jogging, and you've just got to will yourself to the next contest.
Well, it's a simple concept, isn't it? Outnumber your opposition at the ball, and if you're getting to the next, running to the contest, you never know what's going to happen. The ball spills out, and there you are.
There is a nice tap again on that right hand. See, Westminster, they're out now. Shadforth, watch for him here. If he can get past the pack, he does. This is where he can put the Jets on. He's done that hamstring by the looks of it. He had the injured knee earlier on, so he's not going too well, Clay Shadforth. And when it goes bang, well, you might have your work cut out for you this week, Stephen, or someone else around.
Here comes our physio.
So, that's not good to see. I reckon he got that injury earlier in the game as well, and they've mounted up, well, the knee, but now the hammy, so you sort of got a double up there. So Sacred Heart, they go inside to the running player here on the left boot. Gee, pops it. That's a towering mark too. And, well, their height, Harry Franz it is. Look at the height of that young man, and there's still growth in them and a good set of hands. So very well coached. John Simons gets these teams up and going. It's a real factory down there. And Harry Franz, a lot of riches. The other thing it creates, Stephen, is competition for spots.
Oh, definitely.
That's the other side of it.
We there'll be some good players playing in their seconds, I'd imagine, Tony.
Yes, well, I saw their seconds earlier in the year, and they won. I can't remember who the game was against, but they won as well. So, are you coming Tuesday? We've got the big blockbuster game.
Down at 30.
Yeah. So we'll catch up with you down there. There's 6 teams going around. It's a huge day. Starts at 3:15 and then goes into the night. Yeah. So it's a great day down there. I don't know whether you've been involved in any of the other ones over the last
No,
years.
it's my first year back in school life, so. But I think we're first cab off the rank, I think.
That's right, 3:15. And the interesting thing with those games is you see a lot of the players have finished school for the day and they come down and you see it might be 100 kids go from one end of the ground to the other down there at Thebby. It's an interesting day. Well, a player takes a bounce there, almost to Kevin Bartlett, was he held on to, he wasn't, so he got away with it. They come across, up it goes. Good fist. This is the moments I'm talking about. First, the ball, Sacred Heart. Look at their numbers. 1, 2, 3. That can be costly, though, that missed handball. Players come inside wanting it for Westminster. That was a little bit hard for Nick Foster to get that ball out because it was from inside. And Jack Lees, it is high kick out. So they've come 10 metres forward and probably 40 metres across. Create space. Very calm coming to the ball there.
They're good at presenting up for a lead, aren't they?
Yeah, Luke Candy too on the left. You were a left footer, weren't you?
Yeah,
some of you left footers, I don't know, they're left footed footy out there, but just look so calm and it's like poetry in motion.
Well, I think also they do get that extra space because instinctively most players will go and defend the right side of player. It's just because the majority of players are right footed, so that's been, they've been learnt that over the time, so they do get a bit of space. It's a nice kick.
He has kicked it. I'm just waiting for the crowd to erupt. I'm just trying to see who that player is there. McKay it is again. Yeah, you talk about the left footers. I say you left footers, but the left footers. But I can remember going around the year Aaron Fiora was drafted. He was a left footer at Port Adelaide, and he would he would take the ball and then he'd go on his right, and everyone would go that way. 3 or 4 players, you'd see him, oh, we got him, and then he'd come inside on his left.
Was it Adam Fiora, was it?
Aaron Fiora, in 99, and just the way he did it, and he just, as you said, that tricky left foot, and a lot of people didn't pick up on it.
No.
He went through and played league, and in and out of the team now at Port Adelaide, and then he got drafted and went on to play AFL. But so you see that, but I'll tell you what, Luke Candy, he's just one of those beautiful classic left footers. As that ball goes up and down, mate, you've done a lot over the years with the AFL and even through the lower grades. We talk about kicking, and I was fortunate enough to work with the Sassy Sports Psychs for a while, but the baseball coach would have if they were teaching a right-handed batter how to bat and they had a really good left-hander, they could film a left-hander and turn that film footage almost inside out. So it looked like he was right-handed. So I don't know whether have you ever done much of that with footy, or you just...
No, in the Neil Craig days we used to do a lot of vision and repetition through decision-making using vision.
Yes.
And so you might you see some vision up on a wall and you've got to make the right decision, and you might get 20 kicks in a minute where you might only get 1 or 2 at training, so you get that extra repetition. That's it. Looking for a bit of extra distance.
What a bit of...
Well done. Right,
just tap through. Did it work?
I don't know.
You've got to say yes.
You never know, do you?
He might be watching or whatever.
No, Neil Craig, he was ahead of his time in a lot of ways. He was very innovative.
Well, I've heard there's talking about, and vision nowadays is easy to get hold of, but back then it wasn't so easy. There's a guy in American Gridiron who gets his opponent's tapes every week, and he puts them on a projector up on the wall so they're his size, and whatever moves they make in the game, he stands up against the wall and he moves what they do, and then when he gets to the game, he feels like he's already played against them. Good work there by Mitch Dickinson. As I said, very impressive at times tonight. Sacred Heart out the back. They're going backwards to go forward here through Jet Reed. There's a high kick. Is that Elva? It is. Tim Elva had an outstanding game.
Yes.
You just need, there is 2 Elvas, but you need maybe 3 of them. He glides by for the handball. Another player inside, Darby Fitzgerald. We spoke about Darby coming back last week after a long layoff from round 1. Just good for him to be out there having a kick of football.
Yeah, he hurt his shoulder in round 1, and he's a very talented player. He's important to the team.
He's covered a bit of ground too. His fitness has come up. He's coming right across to this next ball. But
I think that's been a good thing of his injury. He's able to do some running during with a shoulder injury. He's been able to kick that.
Well, he's run a long way there, and this kick over the top, Camperali. Big pack forms down on the ground.
Oh, we didn't see him.
That across the face.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
Yeah, that was Eddie Pedler. Kicked what we might think was, or probably took mark of the night in quarter 1, which is the dartfish mark of the day. And of course we have a goal of the day, filming footy stats. We haven't picked too many just yet. So, Stephen, you might be adjudicating if something happens.
Yep. Keep my eyes
Keep your eyes open, as the score is 14 goals, 993 to 3 goals straight. So they've kicked the 4 goals, 2 for the quarter, 3-4 in the first quarter. The big one was the second quarter, 7 goals, 3, and of course 4 goals, 2 in this quarter. And doing it by numbers, that's a big high kick though. Get under that one. No one does, so it hits the ground first. I'll glide him by. Under a bit of pressure here, the back line for Westminster. I do like the desperation at times, though. They don't give up on the ball. We talk about this, your traits at the start of the game it should be the same at the end. You don't let the scoreboard influence it.
100%. That's been the hallmark of our season, really. We're in the contest all the time. We're always giving effort.
Good contest. Wow, that's a towering.
Sometimes the quality of Sacred Heart or a PAC get on top of us, but you can't question the boys' effort.
And that is Lucas Camperali having a great game. But they front up again next week. And did you get on the bus on the way here? Were you on the bus? Or you had to drive here?
No, I drove myself down here.
Well, we had Simon, of course, the principal shepherd, and he drove the bus down. I said, that would be an interesting trip. Do you want anyone to sing any songs on the way home? But he wouldn't invite me in.
Yeah, I don't think we're singing too many songs on the way home.
Wow. So big kick in. Boy.
Out the full.
Mark of the night, not allowed. Eddie Pedler. But sometimes we talk about, win or lose, you go in, you get cleaned up and you get on the bus trip back and someone will tell a funny story, or have a joke, and it's that little bit of bonding, and that's all part of that
Exactly right.
culture and mindset stuff. So good on them, and they bond a little bit.
Yeah, well, like these boys play for a lot of different clubs, but they really enjoy playing with their schoolmates, and that's a bit of a highlight for them in a lot of ways.
It is, Stephen, and to play on a, I know it sounds funny, but to play on a sample ground for a lot of these lads, especially maybe the country lads, but even the city lads, the thrill of that, you know, they can say, yeah, we played on that ground that night. It's Big Stokell now charges across. He took a nice grab in the last quarter, and I thought, gee, that was a great grab. And as Simon said, and then they put him into the ruck, so he can't use him in two places. But
he took him as well.
That little grab that he took was just a sign of what he can do, and
definitely.
a little bit of belief.
Yeah.
And he can be doing that every week as that ball close to the boundary over there. You got any stories of Glenelg Oval? You would have played a fair few games down here,
I
wouldn't
can
you?
tell you the story when I think it was about 1975, coming here with my parents to watch Central Districts play Glenelg, and I think Glenelg kicked 49 goals.
The record, I was just going to ask, the record breaker,
I still remember I was standing over in the outer there.
Oh.
You don't know that as a young kid, do you?
I was going to say, it's amazing you stayed involved in footy after that.
Yeah.
Fair income.
I was glad they didn't get 50.
Oh, jeez. I can remember hearing about that when I came over, and that's a huge score down here.
I think it'll still stand as the record, I think.
Yes. Gee, well, that's, what are you averaging, 12 goals or more a quarter? Boy, oh boy. Okay, ball goes up. Oh, just flung around. You can't do that.
Okay.
Brodie Brutones. And I've liked moments of Ethan Steckel at times. I'd like to see him on the end of this kick going forward as well. But, they can't settle him in one spot. Gee, kick around the corner there. Clever. But getting back, just another tall player. There's so many of them for Sacred Heart.
We have missed this today. One of our key forwards in Paddy Hutchins. He's
yes.
He hurt his knee last week, so he's out for a couple of weeks. So that's actually a bit thin up forward.
How is he going? Because that happened right in front of us.
That's right. Yeah.
Strained, is it? Or
I think it's like
a
lateral ligament in his knee. So it's,
Yep.
as far as knee injury goes, it's probably not as bad as it could have been. So that's probably a good result in the end.
Good vision by Steckel with the handball over, and good cut off there. That looks like Lewis Green here. A lot of the lads with the blonde hair, so Green. Just having a look on that far wing. Kicks it in, big pack forms.
Just need to lock it in and build a bit of pressure here for Westminster if we can. Just a stoppage would be a good result.
I think you're correct there. Earlier in the first quarter, they got it down there and competed at times, and there was good forward line pressure. Just don't let an easy out.
Yeah, and
they're little wins.
You get a chance to set up behind the ball as well and work out where you need to position, and that helps you keep the ball in your forward 50.
So Charlie Bradford it was there. Oh, player gliding by. He went too far, Joel Parker. Was he taken high first? I think he might have been. He was, a little bit of ambition there, getting ahead of talent. He tried to take them all on, and unfortunately got taken high. Otherwise, he would have been caught. Gee, player streaking across there. It looks like a big fella out of the back line, but it may have opened up the back line.
Yeah, they've gone back the same way. They had the switch on and they decided to go back.
So that's that player that did the work. So Thomas McKay, that's a big work rate he's had.
Yeah, he's actually, his sister goes to Westminster, so she's a student at Westminster, so...
we couldn't snavel him.
No. Comes from a great heritage of sports people. His mum's Sarah Sutter, famous netballer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And he's had a good state series in the under-18s, I believe, and so... and I see he got invited to the draft combine, so he's had a good couple of months.
Future ahead of him. Looks athletic too.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
It's funny how that works. My partner's son went to Ross Trevor and daughter went to Old Iggy's.
Oh, yes.
So very similar. The one goes to one goes to the other. Steckel it is. Swats it and then really does a 180. Just slipped there and unfortunate with the slip. Was almost out. Gee, Dermody might not have been Dermody this time as that ball just pushes off there. A little bit easy in the end. Harry Franz. A couple of interchanges coming. But held up Sacred Heart for a little while there, but, it keeps happening for them.
It was a bit of the story of the second quarter, wasn't it, where Westminster, it was fought hard and hung in there, but they late in the quarter they got on top, and it seems to be the same again this quarter.
14-9, plays 3 goals straight. Harry Franz just wanders in. Gets under it.
You just
Yeah, he just
Strange kick ago,
didn't kick
wasn't it?
through it, did he? No, just popped it right up high. So another point on the board.
give them the credit. These Sacred Heart boys, they're well drilled.
Yes.
They do things pretty well.
Gee, a little bit of indecision here. Long kick this time. That'll be 2 kicks back if they get it, but Westminster, good grab on the outer wing. Looking around. Just goes really along that line. Big pack forms.
That's a mark.
Good effort there. That's Fraser Watts by the looks of it. Gets it back now. Ethan Natali. Back in this week. I think there were 4 changes, Stephen, to the Westminster team.
We had a few players back from injury and
Couple out. Gee, running well here. Sacred Heart inside 50. Runs himself into trouble. Gives it back and Zokas.
yeah, well done.
Well done. That was Angus Van Kruisen. Geez, kicked that high. Gives the opportunity to the opposition. Gliding by there. That was Jack Elver. Couldn't quite. And 14 goals, 10, 94, 3 goals, 18. There's ball on the far side. The other thing, Stephen, you notice in this type of game is there's still a forward line and a back line,
Yes.
so they're not all squashing up. And with the amount of times it's coming in for Sacred Heart, why wouldn't you? Gee, if one doesn't get you, the other one does. Around the corner, a bit of an inside-out kick.
Yeah, it was.
Powerful kick, though. That looked like, was it 58? Did you know? Tom Simpson, 54 it was.
Yep.
And a nice goal. Just that powerful kick off the boot, wasn't it? It did banana a little bit, but it was so strong in the pressure of the kick.
You mentioned about the forward line, and it is an interesting thing. While you see at the highest level where they'll empty out the forward line and push up into defence, you still wonder whether there's ever going to be a room for someone to stay at home, to have a stay-at-home forward in the forward 50.
Well, we talk about these theories, and it depends on how you sell it as a coach, because width beats length. If you want to press up, you've got to convince your team that width will beat length. But length beats width as well.
Yeah.
And you have to be a coach that's bold enough to say, well, let's keep 2 at home, make them accountable, and you've got to sell it to your players so that they believe it, so they do stay at home.
Yeah.
So if you're a backman and you push up the ground and the forward, your team, for instance, do you instruct your forward to go with him, or do you say, no, we'll play our game plan, we'll stay at home and make them become accountable to us? And it's bold moves, isn't it?
I think there's room for doing that, because,
for sure.
You might have an outnumber at the contest by 1, but it might be an 8v9 or a 10v11, so it gets diluted a bit when you increase the numbers around it.
Well, the other thing there, just as we see Westminster come out, high kick into the middle of the ground, both players having to really track that ball in the air. That was courageous by both. A little bit of pressure on the kicker. Well done. Big collision there. 2 players collide. It's on the ground here. Hitting the post there was Sacred Heart's Harper Ryan. The main thing is those 2 players have got up, and as long as they're having a go at trying to get the ball, as long as they can get back up again, of course.
He's all right. Will Harvey broke his jaw early on in the year.
Wow. So he's got plenty of intestinal fortitude. Once again, it's going to be a long kick out. Big pack forms. Punch forward. Westminster down. Elver. That's Jack Elver.
Here we go.
1-2. It's not quite out. Big tackle. Player pushing out the way. Jet Reed there pushing his own players out the way to get that ball. This is Candy on the left foot. See how he goes. See if he gets it back. 1-2. He does. He's run himself into trouble. Bounces down on that one knee. Westminster with Tim Elver on the outside. Gee, goes back inside into a little bit of trouble. Now the bomb comes out towards the wing. 2-on-1. 3-on-1 it is. They mop up good here. Over the top, Will Rooney. Hits the ground. There's the costly one. Anytime you put the ball on the ground and miss your target, it only has to be half a metre, and, well, you've put a teammate in trouble.
Yeah, I think we got out of jail there. Some good pressure.
So ball goes up here. Outside the 50 for Sacred Heart. A lot of numbers there. Westminster through. Threads it through like a needle. Gets it across to Jack Elver. Nice kicking. Bit of pushing. Good mark. Not quite. 2-on-1. 3-on-1. Bang. That's taken a player out there. Players collided there. 2 players with crook heads. He's taken the mouth guard out. I hope he's all right, that young lad. He doesn't look too good on screen there. Young Fraser Watts. Just gets up, rubs the head. She'll be right, mate. Back he goes. Elva again, industrious in the middle. They've got a tackle in to release the ball. They do. Out it comes Sacred Heart. This way, that way. Runs into trouble. Ball on the ground. Very short handball there. Oh, and the sirens
Dodged
just
the bullet
beat
there,
them.
Tony.
That was Joel Parker got the kick in. And our score 15 goals, 11, 101. Plays 3 goals straight, 18. So pretty handy lead, and we will take a short break. You happy to stay for that? welcome back to Estradarama Oval, Glenelg. That's a mouthful in itself. 15-11-101 plays 3 goals, 18. Tony Neal, joined by Stephen Schwert, down there at Westminster, doing great things, Stephen, and not so good on the field at the moment, but it's fantastic to see these young men. Year 12, probably their final year for a lot of these players. Some are year 11 and 10, of course, but the year 12s, they remember their school footy for life and mates for life as well.
Oh, it's so important, and they really do value it. And we've got the Intercol coming up in a few weeks' time, and that's for some of these guys, it's one of the highlights of their schooling. So,
who's Westminster's opponent in Intercol?
We play Pembroke.
Pembroke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The old stomping ground. For myself, old Scholars, I was coach of the old Scholars. Wasn't so much of the school, but yes, I was the first non-old scholar in 100 years. So I don't brag about that, but so that's a good rivalry. And of course, it's not just football, it's soccer, it's hockey, basketball, tiddlywinks.
It's everything.
You name it.
Yeah, it's everything. And so,
2 up, could be anything.
I don't know if we'll go that far, Tony, but, but no, it is. It's, my kids actually went to Pembroke, so I sort of experienced it on the other end of the Intercol rivalry. But it's so I've got a really appreciation for how much it's valued by both schools.
There's a lot of it's a true rivalry.
Yep.
Those games are sure. Big lead come from Lewis Green here. Look at him go out the other side there. He's really sprinted away there. I'll tell you what,
it's a nice kick.
He came from this wing all on his own and just took off and
won in self-possession.
We talk about sacrificial acts. Well, that was more just a push yourself to the boundary of your threshold. Great kick and good mark out there.
Charlie Bradford, young year 10 boy.
Number 34. Yeah, played a great game last week as well. Just hooks that kick a little bit and gives it back to the opposition. And Sacred Heart streams through the middle. Long kick forward there. 2 on 1 there. Gee, that's a strong grab.
He's well built, this young lad.
He is, isn't he? Have a look at him. Let's just see who that is. He's damned again. That's Atkinson, son of.
Oh, that's Brody's lad, is it?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, yeah.
Captain. He's got a little bit of Brody. Might be a touch tall about that, but just the gait about him. Yeah. But I'll tell you what he has got, Stephen, is a really strong kick.
Yeah, is he? Couldn't Brody find the footy?
Oh, a hunter of the ball.
He was a ball man, wasn't he? Brilliant player.
So comes in, just runs out to the right a bit there. It's just come in. Yep, nice goal there. And leading the way is Ned Atkinson with his first on the board. Of course, goals to Atkinson, Candy, Parker, Bretones, Dermody with 3, Franz, Pedler, Campriali, Lucas Type, McKay with 2, Simpson 1, Hosking with 3, and Ben Campriali with 1. So a real spread of goal scorers. 12 different goal scorers. So you'd like to see that as a coach, Stephen, 12 different goal scorers?
Well, you do, because once you start relying on 1 or 2 or 3, then if they're shut down, you haven't got much else to go to.
No, you're right. They're out
nice
here.
Clearance.
Yep. Just been saying that all night. Mitch Dickinson hits to that spot and he wins a lot of the ruck taps, but they just need to get on to what he's doing out there. He's a real jewel in the crown for Westminster as Jet Reid just started to introduce himself a bit more in this second half, called Jet a little bit more.
I think if you get a kick down the line against this team, it's a win for Westminster because they use the ball so well. So there we go.
Yeah, it's a good call. Good mark back there.
Max Robinson, he's been pretty solid all day. Really, he's a hard worker and he's had a lot of work to do, but he's done a pretty good job.
Is he out at a league club?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not aware of, Tony, but I'll stand corrected there.
I just see, just a little thing there for lads watching. See, if he turns, he turns his whole body. One thing we were taught with coaching, like turn and face where you're going to kick it, and that's a beautiful kick put down on the ground by Cam Coleman. But he's good enough. He's a very good player, is Cam Coleman.
Yeah, he's had a terrific year. I think
real competitor.
Really surprised the coaches with the improvement he's shown this year. He's had a great season.
Gee, they're playing around with it here, Sacred Heart. Just put it into space, but gee, I tell you what, you're not going to get away there. Umpire's got a sense of theatre there. Just let that go. Gee, another one taken the ground. Umpire's put the whistle away here. 1, 2, 3. Third tackle. Sacred Heart. Over it comes. Tackled here.
Good pressure.
Gives out. This time to
Great
Westminster. Coleman again. Oh, I tell you what, there's a little bit of Irish about that. He's thrown it to himself. Play on. 1, 2. Gee, I'll tell you what, how much further can he go? Gives it into the forward line. Oh, running into space. Couldn't quite get it done was Will Harvey, and just that little bit of skill at the end undoes it. But it was exciting. The crowd erupted here. Joseph Raphael down the other side. It's almost like circle work, but how quick back the other way here by the Sacred Heart team. On the ground again, Westminster under pressure. Get a handball up. Lots of numbers here. 1, 2, 3. That is Andre Lim. Across. Good grab. Fraser Watts. And a cool head under pressure, Stephen, with that kick.
Just need to find a mark here just to settle things down. Here we go.
Over the top.
Yep.
Coleman again. Gee, really having a good go. I've been impressed by this young lad. Looks like he could have come off horse 3 at Morfettville today, but he's a very good player.
He plays a lot of heart. Oh, turnover here.
Giving it back to Harper Ryan. Kicks it in the middle, and guess what? Not quite a turnover. Running onto it this time around the corner, Will Rooney slams it onto the boot. And across the face, is it? It is too. Gee, dare I say it. I'll just come back to that in a minute. Cam Coleman. A little bit of another player that used to be a very light player that played a lot of games on this ground, Tony Simons.
Oh, wasn't he an unbelievable player?
Just wasn't a heavy player, but longevity and a great player he was. And Coleman, not saying he's Tony Simons, but just the type of build, and he is over the top here if he wants it. Could have been used there. He was in the space there and just burnt that ball a bit.
Got a bit lucky
Dickinson, again, very impressive. That's a tackle. They're out here, 1, 2, 3. Quick kick into the middle. It's held up in the air a long time. Good spoil there. Ethan Natali back in this week. Couldn't quite get the second effort too. That's a great kick out to the fat side. And Atkinson knows his way around, kicks it in, and beautiful mark there, up high.
That's what I've liked, Tony. Like, he's 45, 50 out. He could have had a shot, but he honours the lead, and now we've got a shot from 35 metres out.
I did mention to Simon before, Ned is the captain, so sometimes you rotate the midfielders off, Stephen, off onto the bench, but Ned says, well, hang on a minute, boys, I might just wander down into the forward line and keep myself out there, so good on him.
Might be like the old man.
Yes, I'm worth more out on the ground than sitting on the bench. And that's straight over the top. Is that Pedler by the looks of it? Just have a look here. Our cameraman will know. We'll put it down to Pedler anyway. Eddie Pedler. Looked like a 29. A lot of players around there. Jeez, my eyes went a bit watery there. It looked blurry.
What team was that for? Yeah, we tried that.
So, Sacred Heart.
Oh, wait, here we go.
17-12. We'll just wait for the scoreboard to finish, doesn't it? Look great up there, Stephen.
Talking of the Simons, haven't they? Johnny Simons is coaching the...
Well, he is. Yeah. Brother of, yep. Glenelg against South Adelaide.
Yep.
Had a stint down here coaching as well. And he's...
Did he coach at the base, did he?
Yeah, he did, with the 19s.
Yep.
I think he went up and did the reserves as well.
Yep.
Well-respected footballer in his own right. And I'll tell you what he could do. I was down at Brighton one day, and those steps there, God, he just goes up and down, up and down. He had a ticker on him. Is it there? Player jumping up and down, very excited, and couldn't quite. Yes, he had a huge engine on him. Huge it was, and he would just go up and down those steps like it was nothing.
Yeah.
As ball comes out now, deep in the pocket. We talk about this game plans. Most teams will give you that first one, but you are right, Stephen. They've Westminster have forced the opposition to kick that up in the air.
Turnover again.
And it's playing in their favour. It is hard football. They're very well drilled here and out over the top. Really squeezed up against the boundary. That was Tom Simpson. One-handed there, Tim Alva.
Robinson again.
Robertson, out it comes. Gee, bounce beats everyone. Look at Dickinson tries to get in. You can hear that tackle from here. They just flick that ball around in the hope that someone's running by, and they are.
Yeah, they've got trust. Simpson. They've got to have a teammate there to give it to them.
Yeah, under pressure. Gee, running away. That was impressive. Jack Walters puts it into a very dangerous position. Have a look at that bounce. Through it comes. And a nice goal there. Harry Hosking with his 4th of the night, if you don't mind. So running away with it. And just all that work down here in front of us, Stephen, on the boundary, and then Sacred Heart go bang, 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 down very quickly, and they score quite easily. So
It's a simple game when you keep the ball on the body.
correct, 18 goals 12, 120 to 3-2 20, so that is the round 100 point lead. So just see what happens. So watch Mitch Dickinson here. He's already on that angle for a right-hander. If he hits this as he has been, he'll go to the left of that umpire doing up his bootlace there, into that space. And we'll just see who's up to it. But see, the Westminster players are all on the inside of their Sacred Heart players.
Yeah, defensive side.
So he does hit to that spot, and guess what? It goes straight to the Sacred Heart. So just a little bit of managing the players and teaching them and instructing them, and maybe scenario planning at training, and being bold to say, well, we back him. We reckon he's going to win it. Let's get in the best position, not be reactive to the opposition, be proactive to our movement.
Well, that's a challenge when you're well behind on the scoreboard. You do take that back shoulder and you play a bit safer, and then
trying to stop them.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
They come out now.
Good hands.
Yep, up it comes, across the pitch. Well, cricket pitches I was talking about there. Coleman just at the end of the area there. He could just perhaps float out here, just outside here. Can't quite. Gee, player cutting a swathe right through the middle there. Good speed. And the lead, just that diagonal lead from the pocket, Atkinson almost. Yeah. Crossed a little bit. And Ned Atkinson lining up forward. If you're going to go and rest down there, you may as well be useful. So he's going to line up here for his second shot on goal this quarter. So Atkinson, 25 to 30 out. Pretty easy kick normally. The flag's just fluttering a little bit over there in the background. Wanders in, kicks through the ball. He did
miss to the far side.
Did just go down to the left foot and made out he had a bit of cramp there, Stephen. That's always a good ploy when you don't quite hit the ball correctly.
Tony, a blood draw bottle, thanks.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I think you're correct. I thought they might have been looking for a new footy. So it's a bit of both, I think. Footy because it's gone over the back.
Ah, yes.
But I noticed Ned Atkinson. So I did notice he hasn't taken himself off the ground, but he did have a bit of a rub of the calf after that, and well cut off there by the Westminster player. He's Joey Otto crossing.
He's only a year 10.
Very impressive.
He's had a really, he's a bit like had a really good season as well.
Super impressive he is actually.
I know he's really surprised the coaches, and he's been a regular member of the team this year.
Nice big long kick comes in for Sacred Heart. Up they go. They all stand trying to take mark of the day now. Westminster player out. Player still on the ground now. This is Will Young. Ball in hand. Puts it out wide, but that's to the advantage of the player. That's really good play there.
Daniel Will.
Daniel Will it is.
Yep.
So the turnaround now, they go from Saturday night to Tuesday.
Yeah.
What would it look like over the next few days? I know a lot of them are boarders and they go back to school. They wouldn't train between now and...
I think Tim Weather's got a recovery session planned for Monday, a light run.
Yep, okay.
In preparation for Tuesday.
Just to get the body moving, innit?
Yeah.
Get rid of some of that soreness, lactic acid build up. And
it's like the old days, Tony, where you play a game on a Saturday, then you play a night series on the Tuesday night.
Oh, geez, how'd you go with that?
I did
You would have been all right. You've run out 4 quarters, no worries. When they start to wither about halfway through the third quarter, you'd have them.
It was good fun, those cold nights at Footy Park.
Oh, geez, mate, with about 2,000 people there. The old Escort Cup,
that's what it was,
back in the day. I'll tell you a funny story about that in a minute as this ball comes over. Bouncing around now, 2 Sacred Heart to 1 Westminster. Oh, a little bit of volleyball. Westminster win out. High kick down the wing. Oh, player under it drops it. Oh, Bretones went in head first there. Look at the numbers there. That's great desperation by Lewis Green. And
it's a good opportunity. Just a stoppage here gives Westminster a chance just to get set behind the ball and get a bit organised.
Looks like Steckel now. Now he's come to the body first, so he goes body first and then ends up behind the ruckman in Harry Franz. So a little bit of byplay going on there. So trying to extract his way through the crowd was Camporeale and took a player with him on the way through. And that player's still down. Just tried to tackle there. They're out here. So trying to massage that kick forward with Sacred Heart. Too cute. Comes out this side of the ground. There's two players here trying to help each other that are injured, and the ball's going to come their way, and it
Well,
does
he's gonna get
actually. Will Harvey. Gee, he's gone backwards a long way. Players are falling over each other out here for both teams. A little bit of pressure, 1-2. Good glide by and good pressure. Player just come off the bench by the looks of it. Well done there to Nick Foster. Caught up and take a free kick. And Coleman it is, just looking a little bit sore down here. Points to that wing. Still goes again. I like that. Goes again for the second lead. He's going to come in front and centre and crumb this if need be. It just bounces out right in front of him. So smart play.
Just being played between half back and half forward at the moment. Westminster with trying to play a spare man behind the ball, and it's just the ball's just bouncing from between the arcs at the moment.
So throw in comes in front, down to the ground. Gee, player inside. Thought it might have been a kick, but it was a handball. This time it is Camporeale again. Puts it out to that far side. Lets the player run onto it. Darmody just turns around. Just settled, didn't he, in the lead. Is it the player with ball in hand, or is it the player down the ground that makes the play? You know, it's an interesting question.
Yeah, I think that the movement from the player with the ball creates a movement down the field. If you've got movement and players are moving with the ball, then that'll create the movement up the field. So, I think it's more what the player with the ball in hand that dictates it.
Hosking runs in, a fair way out, gets hold of it. Does he just push that off to the right?
Post.
The other thing with that too, Stephen, is Hosking on that early lead is knowing, I'm big on that, knowing your teammates' traits.
Yeah.
They're right or left-footed. Can they kick long on either foot, short on either foot? And Hosking did that beautifully and ran into the lead to a beautiful kick.
Well, it's been a highlight of Sacred Heart really tonight. They're honouring the lead.
Lewis Green now, ball in hand. So he's going to go diagonally across the ground. There's 2-on-1 out here, so it's good kick. That looks like Andre Lim.
Yep.
Gets it over the top. Can we see a coast to coast or a passage of play? Gee, it's like weaving. They've come straight across the other side of the ground now, like doing up your bootlaces. And, that kick comes in to the centre forward position. Sacred Heart through, Luke Candy. We'll see if they've got a left-footed ball now, Stephen.
Yeah.
So he's a very good kick on the run. What's he like from a set shot? Come on, give us a tip. We'll put commentator's curse on you.
I think you can put it down in your budget, Tony.
45 out. Right over the left foot. He's holding that ball quite high, though. Holding it high. Just drops it out. And
across the face.
Yeah, just with that holding it high, you're not going to push it down onto the foot. You're going to drop it. And that allows for a little bit of misalignment. So, ball comes out. I'm a bit microscopic, Stephen.
I don't mind.
How we analyse the game, mate.
I like that you've given it some thought.
So, player holding on is
20,
at 25?
25,
It is. So, coming back to the Escort Cup, I was lucky enough to be in WA, and Daryl Panizza holds a club record for Claremont for the most games. Yeah. Anyway, I said, you ended up in South Australia.
He played at Woodville, didn't he?
3 years for Woodville.
Yeah,
I said, how'd you play 77 games in 3 years? He said, they counted the Escort Cup games. Yeah. And of course, they got through to a winning grand final. So he's played in a winning grand final for Woodville.
I reckon they played against us. Did they pass in the grand final?
That was at Footy Park when Russell Leavitt was coach. And
we played in a losing grand final. I can't think who it was against.
Could well have been.
Yeah. That's a nice kick.
Well, you might be part of history on the wrong side of it because it was their only grand final win.
It was an good player, Daryl Panizza.
I think he won a best and fairest out there, and he's doing great. Talking about the young lads, he's doing great work with the Claremont Academy down there in Albany, and coaches the Albany senior team, but also runs the Colts and coaches the Colts and stuff like that. So, and a great man to interview. So, who have we got here?
This is Will Harvey. This is the boy who just got cleaned up a bit early. And let back on it a bit. And they got the carry.
It's going to be close. Not quite. 1 metre short. Gee, that was the big fella that went up for the mark. Runs out now. That would have been as far as Shadforth's run, I reckon. Yeah. But I'm not an umpire. Ball comes around. They have to go backwards a few times, Sacred Heart. This is going to be along the line. Tried to gently kick that ball forward and did so. And, Pedler had confidence in your teammates with the kick. He's run himself into trouble here, Pedler. And it's in the form of Coleman. That ball goes up. Bang. Good grab here. Harper Ryan. Hello, 25 again. Yeah, so different rule, I guess, to the days we played, Stephen, and it must be
what do you
hard.
think of that rule, Tony?
Well, it's very hard because the player with the ball can run off the line and run around, and you see it in the AFL and you see it in these games. You end up past the man on the mark. I don't mind the old where we used to be able to move. If he moved, we moved with him. Mirror image. So, in answer to your question, I'm not a real big fan of it. How hard is it on the footy field? You know, it's like when you're a bit twitchy and nervy, or you move around a lot. You just stand still.
Well, I suppose that. I suppose today's footballers, they're starting to grow up with it now, so they're getting used to it.
Yeah.
But the young kids won't know any different in a few years' time.
Well, they haven't got the rule here, but the last touch rule brought in the Adelaide Footy League, and I went up before it was brought in. It was in the Adelaide Hills for a year. And I was up there commentating, and the ball went out of bounds, and I thought, the opposition player's gone and picked the ball up. What's going on here? Not one person in the crowd said anything. They just accepted that as the rule. So as you said, the lads are growing up with it now, and they just say, well, that's the rule. Yeah. But imagine these lads watching a game from 30 years ago. Dermot Burton running around clocking people and dipper and these kind of things.
Well, I've enjoyed the last touch out of ball bounds rule. They have it in the SAAS, I think it's been great for the game.
Well, I don't think we'll be far off it here either.
Yeah, we're nearly there, aren't we, in the AFL particularly? It's just about that at the moment now.
The other bit too, I probably missed out on probably close to 1,000 stats, I reckon, in my lifetime. I was a full back and you weren't allowed to play on. You had to kick it to yourself. Now they can just walk, taken high there. You can walk out of the square and you get a stat for kicking out.
Yeah. That's not right.
Jeez. Around the corner now. Plenty of time. So that kick there, offline. So that kick there, just to mention that, Harper Ryan kicks around the corner. I don't mind that because there's skill in that. But I was talking earlier, was it Max Robertson perhaps, I was talking about, who turned the body to look at the player to kick the ball. Yeah. So there's an art, there's two sides to the coin. There's an art in turning and facing the player so it's a straight kick, and then there's an art in, which a lot of the forwards do these days, kick that ball around the corner.
Well, they do, and Max Robinson's one of the better kicks going around. I love the way he kicks the ball.
Good grab there, Ethan Steckel. He's given a bit at times, hasn't he, Steckel?
He has. He's a competitor.
Pumps that ball into the middle.
That's a nice take.
Yep, 1-2, and below the knees. Oh, gee, just cut off, squash through, and nice goal.
It was only a matter of time there. They've been peppering away.
Just see who that was. Wasn't Rooney. Harvey Radis, was it? Haven't called him much tonight if it was. Harvey Radis, of course, there was a few Radises that played down here at Glenelg.
Yeah, there was
Sturt, Stephen. Well, Stephen was in the 19s, so. But Michael.
Yeah, was there a Brenton Radis? I can't remember the first name, but one
went over to Richmond.
Yeah, one had to play some good football down here, as you said, at the Bay.
Well, if that is from the Radis clan, fantastic family in the southeast, and the father used to come down, Mr. Radis, I'll call him because I can't remember his first name, and he used to carry jam, Stephen, in his pockets. He'd come to the 19s games and 17s, and he'd carry jam around in his pockets, and he'd hand out probably 10 or 15 jars of jam throughout the day, and I was fortunate enough to get one from the Radis farm, and it was absolutely sensational. It was the Radis jam. But just in the back pocket of the jeans, how they never dropped out and smashed on the ground, I'll never know. Bit of a legend down here he was. We all used to say, geez, I hope one of the Radises is playing today because we'll get a jam. And then we played Werribee in a game down at Mount Gambier, so we all called into the Radises farm down there. It was like a shrine, all the jumpers of the sons all there. The Sacred Heart come around. Well, they might have a Sacred Heart one down there soon, but he might be a son of this one.
Over again.
Oh, taken low down, gliding in, nice goal there. Harper Ryan. Gee, I'll tell you what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14 goal scorers now.
Yeah, just see the player slipping over there, Tony. It just costs you so much, doesn't it? If the player goes to ground and you can't put pressure on the opposition.
And it's actually something, I don't know, yourself with training players and that. I used to train players about getting up quickly, put a medicine ball in their hand and stand up without using their hands and try and get them to stand. Because to stand up off the ground without using your hands is quite hard. Best one I've seen is Alex Jezelenko at Princess Park years ago.
Yeah.
And he was falling to the ground, put his left hand out, and he virtually ran around his hand like watching a clock. His feet went around, and he popped back up, and his hips or nothing hit the ground, just his hand.
Yeah.
It was amazing centre of gravity to watch. As the siren goes, and, well, 20 goals. Well, the scoreboard's gone crazy here at the moment. We'll put that as 20 goals, 16. 2019, there we go, to 3 goals, 1. And a very good win to Sacred Heart. I love at the end of the game, don't worry about the scoreboard. You go back to shaking hands.
Well, it's been played in a good spirit, Tony, hasn't it?
It has been.
It's been an aggressive game and some good physical contact, clashes, but it's been played in a good spirit the whole day, really.
And the good thing for these boys is you're not defined by your game of footy. You're a family member, you're a student, you're a bit of everything, you know, and this is just a learning curve. I've played for 2 years in teams that have never won a game, so you learn from it.
This is a good experience. The first half of the season we had some good wins, and now we're playing in Division 1 and we're testing ourselves against teams that are pretty well established in the school football.
Yeah, especially Sacred Heart. So, correct. And that's good for them. And, you know, the other side of it, they're young, they've got youth on their side, mate. In 4 days' time, they'll bounce back up, and we'll be out at Tuesday at Thebby, and they'll be going, how good's this? We're playing on another old Samful ground, and you just go again, and that's what sport gives you.
There'll be a bit of running at Thebby Oval. It's a big oval still.
It is a massive oval, actually. It hasn't undergone any of the changes just yet. So, Stephen, absolute pleasure, mate, to have you on. Thanks for coming up and joining us in the second half, and just to give an insight, not only on Westminster, but in sport in general, and these young men and what's perhaps ahead of them in the future. And, you know, as you said, some of these are already, what you see at 17, 18 is what you see as grown men, and then some of the lads are still got some growth in them, and there's some great young men out here. I think our best player on the ground today will be Lucas Campriali. Really like the way he went around at number 30 for Sacred Heart. But for now, folks, we hope you've enjoyed the telecast of our schools football, the SAAS. And Stephen, thanks again for joining us. Good luck. We'll see you on Tuesday. Remember, folks, we're with our blockbuster again on Tuesday. 3 big games of SAAS football. Thank you to Harry Lambert, our cameraman. Fantastic job, Harry, and also your insight on Sacred Heart, mate. That was fantastic as well. Thanks to our producer, our sponsors, and enjoy the rest of the evening, everyone, and tune in Tuesday for the big blockbuster.
Cheers, Tony.
Good man.